Okay guys, Todd the Cybertruck truck guy here, and I want to talk today about why the F150 should not be the comparison truck for the Cybertruck, and especially for the Cybertruck dual motor or tri-motor. So I'm going to focus on the tri-motor one here because that's the one I reserved. It's the most expensive one, and I think it's the one that maybe has the toughest time justifying the price to the features relative to when you start comparing it to an F-150. So I have a very fancy graphic here. This is inspired by Jeremy over at Financial Education, I think. So I kind of like shooting these videos in my truck, and I think everyone watching them kind of likes it too. I'm sure maybe I'll figure out a way to do from other places, but for now, truck is easiest because I can mount the camera up there on my windshield, and the light's good because I have natural light, so it's easy for right now. So I'm going to stick with it for a while. So here's my state-of-the-art graphic. All right, so let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that works. All right, so on the bottom here, we have off-road capability, and on the side here, we have work truck. Now, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna do some actual numbers here in a second, but I'm gonna shoot the first part of this video with this little graphic. So here you can see that the work capability, I've got the Cybertruck over here with an F250 diesel, an F250 diesel 4x4, and an F250 diesel Tremor. So you might not know what those are, but if you're a truck person, I think you'll know what all those are. And it's not, we'll see. The positioning is adequate here, because really the F250 diesel should be maybe a little bit further up here. So from a work capability truck, I'm going to argue that a Cybertruck is really very on par, especially the tri-motor one, should be on par with the F250 diesel. And that has to do with the torque and the towing. And I might explain more about it later on in this video. I might just put it up just with this explanation because it's short, and then defend it later. But the big issue that a lot of the specs miss is they miss the torque. And the Cybertruck has torque numbers, or expected torque numbers, if Motor Trend estimates are true, of around 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. And that puts it right up here with the F250 diesel. And I put a 4x4 up here because I literally don't know anyone that has an F250 diesel that's not a 4x4. Could be where I live because we get snow. Also, I don't live in Arkansas, even though I know some of you think because I camp there, I live there. I don't. But anyway, it's the best off-road area in kind of the southern plains area. That in Oklahoma. Okay, so here I've got the Cybertruck way up here when I think it's better off-road than even the F250 diesel Tremor. And until the Tremor came out, I wouldn't even know who to compare the Cybertruck to. People compare it to the Raptor, but here's why you shouldn't do it. Notice the highest the F-150 gets on my work capability. That's because even though technically it's rated to tow something like 10 or 12,000 pounds, depends on the chassis and some other variables, it can't do it well. If you've ever tried to pull a 10,000 pound load or even an 8,000 pound load with a half ton, it is not fun. It basically, you have to have it up around 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs, maybe even more when you're going uphill. And even then, those engines only produce about 400 to 500 foot-pounds of torque, and they only do it up north of 4,000 RPMs. So you're just beating that truck just to get up a hill. It's miserable. And a Cybertruck is supposed to have somewhere around 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. The F250 diesel, the Power Stroke 6.7 liter, produces around 1,050. Probably in its class, I think it's the best. Maybe the Cummins beats it. I'd have to look. But anyway, so The Tremor package is a real legit off-road package now, finally, for the 3/4 ton trucks. And I think that's going to be the comparison truck to the tri-motor Cybertruck. That's what I'm going to use when I do my cost comparison. So I wanted to explain why the F-150 doesn't belong. So the F-150 maxes out at about 2,500 pounds of payload.
Okay, so I'm going to insert this video here because I want to show what the towing capacity actually is of the F-150 and why it's so hard to actually just give a number. So so you see up here, first of all, you have your wheelbase options. Then you have your cab size, so is it a regular cab, crew cab, super crew, and then you have your engines. So I'm just going to start scrolling here so you can see all. So let's look for the biggest one here, 83, but there's a lot of 5,000, 7,500, 10,000, 12,000, okay? This EcoBoost is the engine that has the most torque of any of the F-150 engines. So we'll just keep going down. So you can see that the towing rating is affected, in this case, just by the engine, which engine you get. That's why I make such a big deal of the diesels. So keep scrolling down here. Okay, so we get to the super cab, and that's really what a Cybertruck is. It's a large cab, so it'd be comparable to a super cab. So you start looking at these, and you got, your 10,000, 11,900, 9,000, 10,000. Okay, now I'm going to talk about this in a second in the video, but notice the Raptor, the 6,000 pound tow rating. That's one of those issues when you get the Raptor. So let's keep scrolling because now we're talking. Oh no, we're still talking towing here. Okay, now we're in a payload. So let's see here. So 1,800, you got up to 2,400, 2,100, 2,600. So these ones with the stars, you have to purchase an extra heavy duty rating to get those on there. And you can't do it. Let's see if we can get to the Raptor one here. So here we are, Raptor. Raptor is right here, the far right one. £1,000. 1,000 pounds of payload capacity. Let's see what it is with the Super Crew. 1,200 pounds. Okay. So, oh yeah, here's where it requires the additional payload package just to get up to 3,000 pounds. So, yeah, that's why it's hard for me in the middle of the video to say what the payload is and what the towing is, because it's all over the board. That's why I'm trying to give kind of a maximum. So you saw there was no payload above 3,000 pounds, no matter how you kitted it out, what combination, and there was no towing capacity above 12. I don't think I saw one above 12,000. So anyway, that's that.
It can't carry even a lot of pallets in the construction world that weigh north of 2,500 pounds. And when it does, it carries it really badly. It's just not set up. It's not meant, the F-150 is not meant to be a work truck. It's meant to be a truck that's like a daily driver that you occasionally use to carry heavy loads or tow heavy loads. It's just not meant for that. That's why even when you see recreational people out there with a camper that they're towing a bigger one, they always got a diesel truck. It just from a towing standpoint, diesel just beats the snot out of gas. And I know there's a diesel on the 3/4 ton. It's for mileage. Torque numbers are worse than the regular gas engine. So I've got, as far as if you just buy a standard F-150 4-wheel drive, okay, it can work and it can go off-road, but it's only adequate. It doesn't have all the features of the Tremor or the Raptor. So why not the Raptor? Why not compare? The Cybertruck is going to have whatever, 16 inches of clearance. It's got that armored exterior. Really, it should be an off-road beast. So everyone wants to compare, and it's expensive. Cybertruck is 70 grand, and the Raptor is 70 grand. So people automatically go, well, Cybertruck, it's a niche truck. Maybe it'll sell 50,000 a year. Of course, we now know that's not going to be the case. But why not compare it to the Raptor? Well, here's the thing. When you want to get way out here on the off-road side with regular trucks, everything that's available right now, you take a beating with towing and payload. So the Raptor, the F150 is like, let's say you're going to get a crew cab, right? So just throw the standard cab out the door. You're going to get a crew cab at least. Probably you're going to get a super crew, but let's just say crew cab. I'll try and find the numbers and put them up here on the screen. But I think that towing number is somewhere between 9 and 11,000 pounds. And payload is somewhere between 1,900 and 2,400 pounds. Whereas the Cybertruck has got 3,500 pounds payload and 10 to 14,000 pounds, depending on whether you do the dual motor or tri-motor. So when you get out here on the Raptor, the Raptor can only carry and tow a little bit more than my little Tacoma. And that's because it's got that suspension that travels far. It's light. It's light. It's soft, not light. It's soft. It's got a soft suspension. The Raptor is an off-road monster. They're great trucks for going off-road. Really awesome. Then you get out here, I would put like the Tacoma TRD Pro as being slightly better than the Raptor. Now, it depends what you're going to use it for, but if you're talking about tight turning, rock climbing, other stuff like that, the Tacoma TRD, because it's smaller, is just going to be more nimble. The ultimate off-road, no one argues with this. The ultimate is the Jeep Wrangler. Best off-road vehicle there is. It's articulation, it's tight turning radius, it's in a league of its own. And that's why there's so many of them. So that's why I've got it way out here. But you would never use a Jeep for a work truck. It can't tow anything. Payload is really low. It's an off-road specialty vehicle. And you see, that's always been this separation, is that the more work truck you go, the less off-road it is. And I'm not even addressing the ride quality of riding one of these trucks off-road. So, and that's why I've got the Cybertruck over here, because even that Tremor, if you watch the guys over at TRL Truck, which I'll put a link below. I think it's TRL. Anyway, they've just done a review on the 3 heavy duty, the Ram Power Wagon, and then the new Chevy diesel off-road three-quarter ton truck. Kind of a review. They haven't done a real review, but one of the complaints about that Tremor is, man, it's stiff and it's going to beat you up off-road. And that's just one of the problems. The more work truck you have, the more you're making compromises in that off-road ride quality. So why is the Cybertruck way up here in both work capacity and off-road? Well, it's that adaptive air suspension that will not only let you raise and lower it, but it lets you set the dampening. So if you go back and you look at the reveal, from a dampening perspective, you can adjust that. You can't adjust the dampening on any of these trucks up here unless you get an upgrade to a specialty suspension. That's included. So, little hint, I'm going to talk about that when I do my price comparison or cost comparison video. But here, this is why. You have this area where you either go better work truck but worse off-road, better off-road, not as good of a work truck. Cybertruck is way up here, at least on paper. It's kind of in a league of its own, but the closest we can get is this F250 diesel Tremor. That's the closest to the Cybertruck. And so when I do my cost video, that's what I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna explain, okay, with that as a baseline. And so I think it's fair for people to say, yeah, you're talking about 70,000. It's in a league of its own. There's only so many people that spend that kind of money on it. I don't think it's that much different when you start trying to take, either you start trying to take a, well, you can't even do this with an F-150. Its max numbers for work top out at like 2,500 and I think like 10 or 12,000 pounds of towing. But trust me, you would never want to, I maybe will do. When I get a Cybertruck, I'm going to show the difference between pulling with a Cybertruck, pulling with a legit diesel, like a 6.7 diesel, or the best F-150. It won't even be close. That's why the tug of war thing is a joke, because the F-150 will never do it. So this is why, stop comparing it to an F-150. It just can't match. The only way you can get out there, get close in the range of the Cybertruck, and I would even say if you're, I really think you got to compare it to the tri-motor, because I think if you're going with the 2-motor or the 1-motor Cybertruck, there's a case to be made to compare it to a really tricked out F-150. And then I think the other thing that this is the problem with the two versions, the single motor and the tri-motor, is range. I'm telling you, you gotta have that range if you're gonna compare it to a work truck for towing. You gotta be able to tow for at least a couple hundred miles. And the only one's gonna be able to do that at this point, although I think there might be something I want to talk about. I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna start doing some videos on Sundays where I just sort of go off the cuff, and I'm gonna call them Speculation Sundays, because NFL season's over and I need something to do, where I'm just gonna say, here's some things I think might be coming, and if you guys have ideas on things I should discuss, you can put them in the comments. So anyway, that's why I'm not going to compare. When I do my cost comparison, when I go, okay, here's what you'd have to spend if you want to get something equivalent to the Cybertruck, I'm going to be comparing to this F-250 diesel Tremor, which, I mean, it's an awesome truck. And so that's the other thing. It's like us truck guys, I'm not like only the Cybertruck. I really love that. Man, that's a monster truck with the diesel in there. Awesome. There's going to be some competitors. And also, I'm not going to try and compare it to a Rivian or another EV, a Ford F-150 EV. No, because I think part of this is comparing EVs to the old way. So the Cybertruck is they're going to be the most popular one. It's the one I'm buying. But I think in general, I think when Ford comes out with a F-250 EV, or Chevy comes out with a, 3/4 ton 2500 series EV, they're also going to, they're going to crush the numbers of the other models too. So this is really about high performance EVs to high performance trucks. And, the one thing that I want to mention is that this is not a small market. This is not a niche market. People think that people that spend $60,000 or $70,000 on a truck, especially when you start talking about diesels, that's why diesels are very important to bring in this conversation. When you start talking about the reason why people buy diesels and why it's going to make sense for people who normally buy diesels to really take a hard look at that Cybertruck tri-motor, that those people base truck for us, like an F-250 XLT with a diesel 4-wheel drive, you're talking 50, 55 grand. Base truck. That's it. Not with the electronics, not the off-road package that the Tremor is going to have with the different crawl controls and all that other stuff. Your base entry-level vehicle is $50,000, $55,000. And there are a shit ton of those trucks out there. Just 4-wheel drive, diesel, Super Crew trucks, or the equivalent for Dodge and Chevy. A plug in here for Dodge. We've had a test Dodge that a rental Dodge that we've been running. Jesus Christ, guys, Dodge has upped their game big time. If you're thinking about getting a truck and you can't wait for one of these, and you're thinking about a diesel, I would really encourage you, try the Dodge. Go out and test drive it. Y'all know that Obviously, Dodges have been like the clunker of the. I guess I can take this down. Dodges have been kind of the clunker, but they're new. Man, I think the turning radius on the 5500 Dodge that we're renting and using, I think it's almost as good as my Tacoma. I got in it and drove it. I was like, holy shit, this is an awesome truck. So just a shout out to Dodge. You guys should be more in the conversation. Sorry that Ford is dominating. I know your numbers have been really improving, but Dodge is a sleeper right now. I'm telling you right now. Okay, lastly, like, subscribe, all that other stuff. Basically, I've come to find out that when you do that stuff, comment my videos, all that, it helps the YouTube robot brain think kindly about recommending my videos to other people. So yeah, so any feedback is great. I really, I only have like 10 or 12 subscribers, but I really read the comments, and if there's ideas that you guys have for videos or things that you want me to cover, that'd be great. I will tell you, I'm gonna probably have to go find other Cybertrucks to test early on, because I'm way back in line. I think I didn't reserve until like mid-January, and I think there's something like 400,000 people in front of me. So if you are gonna get a Cybertruck early, or you reserved early, and you want me to come out and shoot a video of testing out your Cybertruck or going off-road or doing something like that, I would be totally into, on my dime, going out to where there's a truck where you really use it like a truck, not one of you guys. I mean, I appreciate anyone that's buying it that's just thinks it's cool. That's awesome. But I really want to go test the Cybertruck with people that use it like a truck, load it up, are going to use it while they're out working, are going to pull something monster with it, or you're really into off-roading and you're going to take it off-road. Because I'm going to do that, but I don't know, it might be whatever, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years before I get it. So I'll put that out there too. So anyway, thanks for watching. And yeah, well, I think I'm going to do my first Speculation Sunday video this week. All right, that's it. Thanks. Bye.